Oh, we were live a minute back.
Okay. So the entire conversation of us
Yes.
trying to engineer a solution is going to be live now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hmm. Hopefully, we will not be having those frames drop today.
So
So, Gautam, how's
uh,
life?
how's life? Life is good. Life is good. I'm enjoying life. Uh, I think a lot of people gave me a like told me straight away that just keep the camera on this side. I think they don't like the view from here. So thank you for the things. Oh, it's working. Yeah, Piyush, thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. It was quite a show yesterday. Uh,
Yeah.
thank God we were able to pull it off.
Yeah. It's a long story, a lot of things that we try to engineer, and then the solution was very simple. So we are going to discuss about this in this interview. So
Yes.
in this session.
Yes. I
So
mean, like, when people say, stay tuned, we'll be telling you this, and then, special offer and special discount in the end, we will tell you how we debugged our problem in a very simple and solution way.
sometimes the solution is so simple that you might just feel that, oh, that's not the thing that we
Or,
thought of.
or it might not have been a problem at all. Maybe like I did it so that I can know what was the question that you were going to ask. You'll never know.
Yeah. So disclaimer, guys. Anyway, this guy knows the question. Yesterday, by mistake, instead of going through the entire process of see the entire videos frame top or something, I told to start the question, and then a viewer messaged me that yeah, there is this issue and we'll have to just drop and just try to figure out. We thought initially thought that it was YouTube, but then we went to Twitch and then we saw that was not that was also not working.
Yep. But do let us know if you guys are still facing any of the issues. Uh, in the case of I think so. Like mostly like till the time BBMP is blessed on me that I don't lose the power cut. But frames and audios will not be dropping out today. But if you get any noise or any of the things, please do let us know. Okay, feel free to interrupt us in between.
Yep. So I think you guys are excited to see this. So this entire what do you call how to design a question mark is the question mark is already solved. So but
Mm.
I am going to do one thing. I'm going to make it a little hard for you. We'll have a timer. Uh, we'll make sure that you have to answer this question, and I am going to throw a lot of uh, bouncers at you. Let's see uh, how you face those.
Got it. Okay. I won't say that I know everything or I'll be able to answer every of your questions because I do know you, not just on the screen, like Ian also off the screen. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. So the fun fact is that I used to do a lot of mock interview with this guy, and I used to just throw random stuff at him just to make sure that I like see. It might be because I am the kind of person who just wants to annoy the interviewer. Sorry, the interview. And yeah, somehow he got used to all those things, and he actually does a lot of good designs. Whenever we have a discussion, he always gets that point. So yeah. So anyway, it's 10 right now.
Yeah.
So
Uh, like I was just thinking, how about we wait for just a few minutes as well and then we'll get started? What do you say?
yeah,
Yeah.
totally fine.
Guys,
Yeah.
people who are watching us, please feel free to share out the link that we are live right now in any of your circle, any of the person you know who wants to and who needs to see this podcast or the live session with us. So please do share that with them. We'll be getting started in, like, in a couple of minutes.
Yep. A lot of people actually told me that this time at 10 p.m. would be a little off. Uh, I would actually ask people to just suggest me a different time if people are feeling a little off.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
and on top of that, just put it on the comments. If you can't go through the, what do you call that, live session, there's always comments, and you can always reach out to us. We already have posted our LinkedIn IDs.
Yes. Yeah, and that's true. Like, by the time, like, we increase, and if we see that most of the community is comfortable with a different timing or something, we'll be happy to change it.
Yep. So Tushar, yeah, in a way you got lucky, I guess. You
Yeah,
got
I
to
think
see.
yesterday's session
Uh,
got delayed, so just I can, yeah.
yep.
But yeah, one more thing. Thank you so much, Tushar, for giving us a shout out last time and yesterday as well. Thank you so much for promoting this community.
Yes, Tushar, we are eternally grateful for you.
And Piyush all the time, like, giving us actually the feedback of whether we are working, if the frame is working, if we are live, and everything is working smooth or not. So thank you so much, Piyush, as well.
Yep. Everyone in this community, we are really proud of you. We really want your support. And see, your support means a lot for us because the way things we are doing, you guys are the people who are motivating us to create more videos like this. And in a way, we know that this is a way we can always make a change in this world. We can, like, education should be free, right? And you can
That's true.
always learn everything in internet. And I think a way that we are doing stuff, maybe we could uh, inspire a lot of people to go for a good, like, have a really great life ahead.
Okay. So I think like it's 10:04. Gautam, maybe we can get started.
Yeah, we can get started.
Cool. So
Uh,
hi. So you were saying something?
no, no, no. So you already know the question. So
I was like going to
let's,
do the interview thing, like, the introduction, like, hey everyone,
yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi.
this is me,
So,
man.
yeah, live, man. So, like, sometimes bloopers do happen.
Okay, okay, yeah. So the formal mode should start, right?
Yep.
Okay. Uh, so even Mukund is here. That is awesome to know. So guys, this is by far, but still one more formal introduction. So hi everyone, this is Prompt. This is your platform for the live mock coding and system designs interview, and these two for now. But yeah, we'll be revealing out that as well. We do have the sessions here in today. The aim is to build out a community so that you guys can have practice of actual interview experience, and knowing a question or knowing how to solve a problem is comparatively lot differ to an actual interview. So we want you to have that experience. Please feel free to reach out with us for having any of the live session. We are so my name is Sahil. I'm your host. Today we are with Gautam, and I'm basically in the industry for like around 5 years, a backend developer working in systems and distributed systems till this times. Gautam, we have in here our expert like the ninja. He's been in the industry for more than 4, or unofficially more than 4 years now. uh, so he works in backend, but he's like he can work with everything, so that's also true. He just goes a little bit liberal when he says that, yeah, I just know this or something like that. But yes, we are here today, and this one is a system design interview. So let's get started.
Yep.
That was a mouthful.
Yep. I think this is also something that you have rehearsed before. I think it's because of the questions that I have asked before. So like I'm just thinking of you already have the confidence that you're going to crack this interview.
No,
So
I have total faith in you that you're going to make it very much convoluted for me.
yeah, so that's the challenge now.
Okay. I'm switching off the screens. So
Okay, I have added a txt file, a
got it.
text file,
Yeah.
where you have to explain all the things. So I'll just put the premise of this interview. So I want you to design a hotel management system, somewhat like Oyo. So it's not just uh, you have to manage one hotel, you have to manage like multiple hotels.
Okay.
And on top of that, it's going to be a high level discussion.
Got
And
it.
we'll also get into smaller, low level discussion on certain components.
Yeah.
Uh, but essentially, we have to solve this problem in a way that it's scalable.
Got it. Okay. So we are looking for scalability in this. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. So now, since I already know the question, I would like to start with I'll start the start watch so we can officially start with it, and few of the basic things that I would like to add so that we can have a smoother discussion after that. Yeah. Cool. So
Yeah.
the clock
Great.
goes. Okay. So hotel management system, and the
Yeah.
idea that you said that it is online system to manage multi multiple hotels. So Gautam, tell me this. So when you say that we handle multiple hotels, that does include that we can also have like a chain of hotels that are also coming into picture, right? Like as a further scope, we are keeping it like, for example, let's say that we have the Ritz, right? So Ritz do have multiple hotels, but they are also a chain. So if they want to get onboarded, we can have that thing handled as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like a lot of like for the you viewers, a lot of business hotels they are a chain like Hilton, Marriott, Taj, and all. So we are also looking at that as well. Yes.
Got it. Okay. So multiple hotels, and then it can be also a network of hotels. Okay.
Yeah.
So the way that I do understand, it's an online system, so it's more of like uh, so it's more of like, one is that the user, so we have like specific requirements from the user that we wish to be fulfilled. There would be specific requirements from the hotel side. So by that I mean, like, for example, let's say that there is a hotel A, so we have an app or an interface for them, interface for hotel side, so that they can know their current booking and everything that they have in the company, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So interface for the hotel. Another way that I was thinking was user side. Guys, do let me know if you're facing any of the noise issues. Okay, because I'm actually saying it because it might be a possibility that you're having it now. So from a user side, it can be more of like, searching the hotel, and with certain parameters. So this can be of different types. Say that price range. It can be of, like, let's say that how many rooms that they are looking for, so number of rooms, or it can be location as well. So this is more of an like one of the major API that I'm thinking that should be provided to the user. Another one that I'm saying is that they would be able to book a hotel room, and then they can have a check in and out. So these are the few things that I'm thinking from like a core end. That these are the basic APIs or the fundamental APIs that should be provided to the user.
Okay. So
Another one more site.
uh,
So yeah,
I also want the viewers to also give us some requirements.
yeah, here it's
Uh,
yeah, it started.
so that is one way to actually
That's
like make
actually true.
this a
Yeah,
little difficult.
yeah.
So guys, you can just go like, why use this? Why use that? You can start firing on that, firing on Sahil,
Thank you
and
so
he's going to
much.
answer.
So along with these two ends, I believe that there would be another end which is quite useful for the hotels as well as the company, or even in this case the network of hotels that we have. That would be an analytics site.
Okay.
So this would be more of like, we get to know uh, what patterns that we were able to get.
Okay.
Patterns, so this can be like, these specific hotels has this specific facility, let's say. So rooms, amenities, I need a better word, room features. And another one can be, for example, on the basis of the reviews. So we need to consume out the reviews, and we can use that for the betterment of the complete network. Also we can provide out the output to the hotels with this one.
Okay.
So these are the REVIEW reviews. So these are the functionally fundamental things that I say that we do need to discuss in this one. And so these are like more of the formal or the functional requirements that we do need to have. I think this is in my mind. Please do let me know if you want me to develop any of the other feature as well, or we can like take it on as we progress with this and then we start developing out the other one. Yeah.
Mukund has one more feature to add.
Yeah.
Change room feature.
Okay, so this would be update. Yeah, update booking. Does that sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay. Coming towards now, we'll be having the non-functionals aspect that we do need to discuss a little bit. Non-function require, and seriously, I need to get better with this. So just like one a minute of pun, okay? So while I was working one day, I was watching one of the video of how the internal system works in my previous company, and it said that this is how you design this one. This is the core component which provides out this facility, and in one of them they said that so we let our engineers name our the services. So it was more of like a containerizing service, and it was having a wrong spelling. So they were like, we let our engineers have the spellings, so that's why you can always expect the spelling mistakes in that. So yeah, I don't know why I said that, but yeah.
So
Okay.
I think I have made a mistake by telling you this, uh, asking you to design this because I forgot about the fact that you worked in Exotel. You actually have worked on this before.
Oh no, Exetel sends messages.
Yeah, but yeah,
But
you
yeah,
have done
I
this
think like I've
something
done a
similar.
similar kind of thing before. So yes, I've designed a few systems like these.
Okay, so yeah,
So
my bad.
non
Sorry.
yeah. So non-functional requirement, as you said, that it should be scalable, as like in the introduction of this, you said that it should be easily scalable.
So Mukund has asked one question.
Hmm.
Sorry, I added one requirement. If a user checks in and wants to change room later with
Yeah.
or without paying extra fee, how do they do it? And we want this functionality to be there.
Okay. I'll add it now. I don't have a solution as of now. I think by the time we start developing out this specific feature, we can then discuss about the same. Yeah. Feature or like more of a design thing that we need to handle. So update. Update room without more price, like without additional pricing, right? Gautam, is that the right question?
Yep.
Okay. So Mukund will try to focus and then the answer on the same. So easily scalable. I believe like in the terms of latency, Gautam, a medium latency would be good enough in this. So for example, in the I'm thinking it in two certain aspects. One is more of like transactions when you do it. So in that, I would be expecting that in my backend, I will be having a very low latency. But in the cases of, let's say that when a user does a search feature, so if we have a medium latency, I can easily have a UI in the front end that says that we are searching the best options for you, and then it can provide us the result, right? Does that work?
Yep. That
Okay.
works.
Medium latency. Another one would be that, so yes, as I said, the two aspects. So consistency. Consistency. So in this one, there would be, I believe, like, I'll be designing it in two parts. So one of the aspect or the part can have a medium consistency. So this would be more of like, in the search database that we have, we can have that. And in the another one, like transaction feature, we'll be having a high consistency, as the transactions will be like handling out the payment, or we can have even the raise condition for booking out one specific room. So I want that to be comparatively a higher transaction, so higher consistency as compared to a simple search model.
Okay. This I'll have to just pause for a second.
Yeah.
So a lot of really good uh, like a lot of good engineers, they actually don't tell you the entire like the non-functional requirement as this has to be this consistency or medium consistency. They actually tell that for some services it might be medium,
Yes.
might be high consistency.
Yes.
So he's actually demonstrating that.
Yes, because like in
So
an when we talk about a microservice architecture, right, we do know that it will be having numerous number of services, and it's actually crucial to have specific availability or consistency in according to the need of the service. Thank you so
yeah,
much for pointing that out, Gautam.
okay, continue.
Yeah. So now can you tell me, like, so I was thinking I will initially start it as a normal frame and then we can move it towards the scalability. But if you want to discuss the back of envelope, that is fine. Or you want to skip that part. So you can maybe tell me approximation, or I can tell you approximation of the number of hotels that we are thinking, and then the, how many number of users and average or total we can discuss, so that we know how much traffic we'll be handling. Does that make sense?
Hmm. So uh,
Yeah.
okay. So the thing is, yeah, I want you to actually do a back of the envelope estimation. So I want to know the uh, requests per second, and like what would be the how many how many requests are we going to have, and like what is the size of the request, and like what are the details that you are going to provide.
Okay. Okay. So let's say that, let's start with, we have different elements in it. One is the users, one we have hotels, and then the number of rooms that are available in a hotel. uh, I believe like these are the three main actors that we have. So if I start with an easier one, so let's pick up the number of hotels that I can have. So number of hotels. So let's say that we are considering only Indian region for now.
Mhm.
Okay. And say that initially we register with 1,000 hotels, and then eventually we grow it, and then I don't know how many hotels we can have. Say
Yeah.
500K.
Okay.
I'm
That's a good estimate.
sorry.
That's a good estimate.
I was thinking like a million, but then I realized let's do this one first. So, and let's say that we start with a initially, let's say 500k users, and we say that we wish to scale it to 10 million users as well.
Okay.
And users, and in this one, by the time we are on 10 million, let's say that we have, on an average, I'm approximating that we have 4 to 5 million active users. These may not be the same users who are using it on a daily basis, but that this is an approximation of the traffic, the average traffic that we have on our service.
Okay. So, do you think this is a read or write heavy system?
So in this one, if I do say, this is more of a read heavy system, since and this I'm saying because it's more of like a behavior that I wish to know. For example, let's say that if I'm planning a vacation 6 months ahead, and I do want to know that what would be the rates of the hotels that approximately I can have in Goa. So I do those kind of queries. Or let's say that people are just browsing out what are the values, and so I'm saying more of reads, because a less number of rides or bookings that has happened as compared to people checking out the hotels. And it can be a possibility that a person is just comparing, let's say, 10 hotels and then booking just one. So it's more of like a very read intensive as compared to a write intensive program.
Okay. I have one more requirement to add. Okay.
Yeah.
This is asked by Tushar.
Yeah.
How will you implement a coupon or discount or gift card system in this question?
Okay. I'll add that to a feature request.
And also, yeah, this is going to be something that I'm going to ask later. But yeah, Mukund, I'm actually recording that one down.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mukund, I'm going to add that.
How to
Um,
add coupons for discount. Okay, this would like be a complete different service that is coming in my head. Okay. And now this is the hotel, the users, and then the third one is that we have the number of rooms.
yep.
So this is more of not a scalable issue. We can initially set an amount because it's more of just design and then a component of it. So I say that maximum 200 rooms that can be available. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. So got it. And then in the case of one more thing, in the case of consistency that we discussed, one more is that I would expect this kind of system, at least the search system, to be highly available.
Okay.
What is the spelling of available? Okay. So how to, and yeah. So now if I do talk about it, the size of the data, if I say that, and this is more of just the structured data, I'm not including the transactions. I'm just saying that this room, this many features and everything like that. So let's say that one hotel consists of 10 MB of data. And this 10 MB includes like all of the features of the room and hotels and everything, structured data. And then I say that I have 500k users. So 500,
Okay.
sorry.
1 second.
Yeah.
You said MB of data. One hotel is 10 MB of data. Can you elaborate on that?
This was more of like, so I'm not considering the blob data in it. This can be more of like a hotel, and then it can be name, rooms, that can be the count. And then if let's say that they have like 5 to 6 categories of rooms, and then they'll be having each room's features that are illustrated to us. So this is just that data, but I'm not considering this as to be the data which says this is the video or this is the picture or something like that. This can also be containing the price, availability, which can be changing, but it's more of like the core data that is that we're talking about.
Okay.
So it's just that data. It's but for example, the data as considering the video or the reviews or the photos posted by the user, those are I'm not keeping in this data segment. I'm considering this as just which gives me the minimum MVP of of a hotel that I can get from this.
See, I want you to split this in terms of how many KBs of data. Like, for example, the room name, it might be like deluxe suite or something. How many KBs of data is that going to take? And I want that uh, details of it. So I want you to justify why it would take 10 MB for one hotel.
This was not like completely a 10 MB that I was thinking. Sorry if I reflected that. I meant this as to be the upper bound of this is the amount of structural data that I can have in a hotel. Original size can be a lot less as compared to this guy. So let's say that if I do have a char limit of the name of the hotel as 100, so it will be a lot less. This is say the room's number can be an integer value, which will be very less.
Okay, so what all data is provided in that 10 MB? Can you just list down all the properties of that?
Sure.
And what is the data type as well? That would
Okay.
help me out.
I was thinking to discuss that in the schema, but yeah, sure.
Okay.
So name, and then this can be a character of let's say 100 characters. Then I can have the location, and hotels do have their hotels do have let's say their branding or the a small introduction or description. Description, a char of 1,000 words. Then I can have the number of rooms. This would be an integer. Unsigned int. Okay, another one that I can have is categories of uh, rooms. Then category feature.
Okay.
Features for each type of room. Feature for each type of room. The description number. Uh, so now when I do talk about like let's say the category, so it comes as like 5 types, and each type features of each type. So there'll be like cat 1, and then having a description something as like the size, the bathroom feature. This is more of like a number. This would be also like I can keep it in a char because it says this by this square, let's say, or the number of beds or person it can accommodate. I don't know the spelling. Yeah, the number of beds. Let's say, and another can be that if it's AC or non-AC. So this would be kind of a bool. This would be an integer. These are the few of the things that were there in my head that can have a discussion about like complete in a hotel perspective. I can take this one out as more of like a feature or a room. So it can become like a property of a room, which can be part of hotel, because a hotel can have like also the features that it does provide by itself. That can be like parking and those kind of things. So I can have a list of let's say 1,000 characters, or let's say 10,000 characters, which does provides me, or I can have like let's say a non-relational schema. In that case, I can have all of the features that this hotel holds for us.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but this one can be subcategory for a room. And then, so with this 10 MB, what I'm thinking is that totally it can hold the features of a hotel and the rooms that that it's having inside it.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So there was this question from our viewer, like, why do you use bool instead of enums?
Oh, that's actually a good question. So in this one, I thought of more of like an AC non-AC as a bool, as I know that in this one it's just a certain category, or there is another different one. So it can either have this or not. But in the case of, let's say that if I have different features, so for example, let's say that if I was having categories, in case
Mhm.
of categories, I think I would have used enums, because I know that there's a possibility that it can have just more than two or these three options. I think in that case I would have taken enum.
Okay, okay, go on. I think your estimate is okay. I think we should move to the APIs or like the high level
This is
discussion on
like
top of
kind
it.
of I know a higher approximation, but I this was more of like I wanted to take an upper scale so that I can have an approximation of how much data that we can expect in it.
Yep.
Just 2 minutes, and I think I can complete this one. So 10 cap 5. This is the number that we have, and if we have say 10 MB of data from each hotel, MB is more of like 10 power 7.
Mhm.
So MB is like, okay, how much is MB? 6. Yeah, and then 10. So I can have totally, and considering that this is right, so this would be, I was having a 10 power 13 um bytes of data. That is more of like a 50 TB data. Guys, please do help me out if this calculation is wrong, but do let me know. So this is, I'm considering in the case of structured or the core data of the user that I do have. This is the amount of data that I have, and I know with this much amount of data I would not be able to put it in just one storage device, because the amount of, let's say that I have 5 million average users, daily users.
Mhm.
If they make a query,
Mhm.
that would be out of completely, like, I'll be running out of IOPS. So if I say
Okay.
5 million is 6,400, so it is 6,400, right? So that is more of like a 57 UPS. This is just by the number of seconds.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Number of, yeah, okay. So this is the amount of load that I do need to handle. This is the amount of structured data that I'm approximately expecting that I'll be having in it. Okay. Whew. Now, I think now we can move upon to the APIs aspect. This is more of like a little bit of a structure we'll be going through. But when we do look in the APIs, if I say from the user side,
Mhm.
there can be create user,
Mhm.
uh, search, book, check, and update. Search hotels, one, uh, and we can have the update booking. And with this one, like for sure that will be having the delete and those kind of features as well. Or also like when we do have uh let's say that get rooms, get all rooms data, when we have a certain, like for a specific hotel that I'm asking for. But this is just an overview of few of the APIs that we will be having from the user side. So if we talk
Okay.
about from the hotel side, we can have as add room, or we one, let's say add hotel as well. And then internally they can be having add the manager or add the information about it, add the features. Then for some of the blob data that we'll be having, blob means like binary object database. Ob- yeah, binary. So any multimedia data is your blob data. We can have like upload pictures, upload metadata, upload blob data. This will be
Okay.
handled in a certain aspect of a component, which will not be directly handled inside the core. So Gautam, like these are few of the overview APIs that I think will be driving the system, but for sure there will be a lot more than these as well.
Okay. But you did miss the verb, the type of the request that it's going to be sent. Is it going to be get, post? What is going to be the
Oh yes,
parameters to it?
yes. So this is more of a post. Writing it at the start. Then search is a get, book is a post, update is more of like, or we can do it like with put, right? And
Mm.
get all rooms is also more of like a get, add room is a post, add hotel is a post as well, and this one is a post as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an overview. I think like we can discuss about the component. Initially I'm thinking of making a linear backend that we have, and then we can talk about few of the functionalities, and then talk about the scalability that you discussed.
Uh, Before that, I want to know the parameters that you're going to push to this because it has to be some kind of schema, right? You might be thinking of some kind of uh, schema associated with it.
Got it. Okay, sure. So this, if I talk about like an overview of a schema, so basic schema. Yeah. Let's say that I have the users table,
Mhm.
and I'll be having the hotel table. This is I'm just like explaining in a case of a relational database. In the in the case of like initially when I'm trying to design it on a small scale, or we can have the conditionally, if once I have the basic scheme of in a relational manner, I believe we can easily change it into a very object or a JSON type schema as well.
Okay.
Transactions. Okay, so if I do have this can simply be having a user ID, and this can, like, this should be unique. So with the unique, I can have a UUID for this. I can have a username. This can be varchar at level 2, base of 100, user email. So phone number. I think, should I put it as can I put it as like a varchar so that I can handle the country code as well, just in case.
Okay.
Okay. What else do I need with this? So user ID can help me with the transactions. Um, this is the data for the further ones. Like we do have like the reviews about the user as well, even in Swiki. I don't have a good review for some reason. Moving on. A hotel ID,
Mhm.
and I'm just keeping a UUID so that we do have a complete unique number. And since like if we want to do the analytics, we can always have the count. But in this case, few of the APIs that we do expose, I don't want to expose the number of like the if I directly have a auto increment number, I don't want to expose that internal information that these many approximation of hotels that we have the company. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Varchar 2 100, and then is having description 1000. What else do I have? I have the location for this location, and what all do I have? Yeah, with this, let's say that I have the room ID, and this one
Mhm.
I am thinking to one way is that I can define in a let's say that if I want to define it, I can have a complete again UUID, but in few of the cases that I'm thinking, we can have more of like a hotel ID associated with it at first, and then the unique room ID, so that we can globally identify a particular room in every aspect. Can have its features. So like it can give you a list of the things that it has. Number of beds,
Mhm.
the number is number of beds. What all do I have? This is the price of it. Very important. Integer. Okay.
So you're also going to keep the prices in the database itself.
Initial for I know that they will be changing.
Mhm.
Okay. Like one way in this one, I can keep for the specific room, or I can have a
Mhm.
relation between the prices and then can change in that sense as well. But for the starting one, I'm trying to keep like for example in a very small or simple instance, I'm thinking to put the price here in the room with the room for a small scale.
Okay. Reasonable.
As we grow, in the case of let's say that when a user does a search, they do usually it's like a behavior that human behavior that we do try to search out the values, or we try to filter out the prices, let's say even either by the comfort or by the prices. So in that case I need to keep these in the certain places and then link it to each room, or at least the category of the room, so that we can have these as a read easy, like we can read them easily. So I'm keeping it here for now, but I'll be keeping that in mind that we do need to have these as like this is a read intense uh, object. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we can have a discussion about like how I can how I'll try to move that in that case.
Okay.
Okay, we can have the relation between these. So one room can have n number of hotels, so 1 to n. We have a relational table between both of those, which gives me out that specific relation between one of like both of them. I am a little bit skeptical because of the stopwatch also that we have. How much time do we have? There's 39 minutes. Okay, running.
Yeah, we are slightly running out of time. We started at 10:09.
No, no, but I did start out the stopwatch afterwards, like when we actually started to code. So that's
Yeah.
fine. So we have the transactions. Okay, and then this will be having a transaction ID,
Mhm.
and then this will be more of like which hotel. I'm keeping a hotel and room for now in this as a segregated ones. So it happened in this one. So let's say that one of the user asked, right, that if I do wish to change out the hotel, I can change out the room with a transaction.
Mhm.
I can get that data from here, and then I can have it one. If we later on the point of time we try to decide that I want to access a complete room just by within that one ID, I can always remove the hotel because a room ID will be providing me out the complete information in that case.
Okay.
The user ID that it's having. So these are the basics one. These are the basic tables that I'm saying. We will be having a specific joins in these as compared to the query that we hold, a specific relation between them as well that we are trying to handle it out. So do you want me to go more in this one, or like shall I try to discuss the the design, and then we can discuss about the orientation of data, how we need to put them in different types of databases and how we wish to organize them.
We can go to the high level discussion.
Okay, okay. Give me one moment to change out the screens. I know. I should have replicated this from these. Anyway, yeah. Give me one second. I'm having some trouble writing in my pad. Give me 1 minute, God.
Now, we are really in the high level discussion. There are two new features that have been requested. So I'll add one feature at a time while we are discussing it.
Yeah.
So I want to know how that is going to be integrated.
Okay. I can start off with the basics one, and then we can start, having these out. So this is more of like the two aspects of the users that we'll be having. So this one is
Mhm.
more of the hotel users, and another one would be the regular users or the users that we have. And this is a front end application that we'll be having. So with this one, we do have our load balancer.
Mhm.
And with this, now we have our API gates, and these will be replicated. So say that, and we can always have a discussion about if we want to make them stateless or stateful service. So in this case, I'm just keeping that on now as more of like API gateways. Now goes in the user data component. So these are the specific services which I'm thinking, and we'll be working with each of those users data and login parts. It can also handle just not for user, it can have the login service. I can call it as more of a login service which can work for hotel or the users or for the even the managements. Okay. Now one specific service, this one I'm talking about more, as this will be one of the one which will be responsible for doing a lot of service, so we are calling it as a core service.
Okay.
The actions that are required, for example, say the write operations or the booking operations. Okay, let me design it in this way. So uh, booking operations, and one we can have more of like search operations in this. Got it. Yes. So these are our basic core layers which will be doing the operations. We'll be having a lot more layers in this, but these will be working in major of the works. So let's define another component that would be our databases. So this one is read intensive. Okay, but still, so this one does holds our users data, the
Mhm.
transaction data, more of like all of the structured data is stored in here.
Yep.
Now okay, and this one is more of like I would like to keep all of the structured data in a relational database. That being that this booking operation will be having another service which it needs to talk to, that would be your transaction service. And this was the aspect that I was talking about in terms of consistency. So transaction service needs a higher consistency, but the search operation service does not need, like, it not need be a very high consistent service. Okay.
Okay.
With this one, I have, let's say this, I have a payment gateway, and this guy does talks to a third party which handles our third party payment handler. Okay. Now this one is required to be replicated since it will be storing a lot of data, and we know that initially there was a discussion that relational databases are not scalable, or discussions like those, but they are very well scalable now. Initially, so I believe like the issue used to be more of when we try to index it. So when we talk about like a non-SQL data versus a SQL data, and this is just like 1 minute of deviation that I wish to take. In the case of SQL data, it does says that it becomes a problem when we try to scale it, since it uses indexing, and we do need to create different type of indexes so that we can get a specific requirement of the data that we have. Another feature initially that we did practice was that we do need to normalize the data so that it's not redundant and written in a lot of places, and that's how we always used to design the tables. So because of this, when the join needs to happen, there can be a very big possibility that one specific data that you're looking for is present in this db1, another is present in db2, and another is present in db3, which creates a issue. But right now the internal talking, for example, let's say that if you do take Postgres or MySQL, they internally do have this network of talking in which piggyback services, in which they do read these operations very fast, whereas in a NoSQL one, the idea is always to keep the data denormalized. Or even in the case of scalability, when you do wish to scale your system to a higher limits, there are a lot of chances where you do keep your redundant data so that you can provide out that very low latency even in the case of your scaling it out. Sorry, Gautam, that was just a idea that was there in my head that I wanted to express.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think viewers can agree that that is a really good wisdom that is imparted here. Uh, yeah, go on, Sahil.
So another one, that this is one aspect. So if I do draw out the flows in this, I can have seven. Let's say the API gateway talks to the booking operation. In booking
Mhm.
operations, I do get the idea that I do a read from, even let's say put a cache. Okay. In case of, we know that this specific guy or this specific location gets a very high reading, or we are suddenly having a very good let's keep a cache.
Okay.
So we do have a read request from here, from the booking operations, and then we do have our db reads, or even the case of writes as well. We do that. So, majorly this would be a write operation, since the search or the reading operations I'm trying to handle from the different API gateway. But in the
Mhm.
case of booking operations, that you did got the complete value. You made out the transaction service, the transaction service called the payment gateway. In this one we had, now this is Gotham, this is the aspect that the use one of our viewer asked, right? The discount coupon thing.
Yeah.
So coupon service, I can keep it here. Now a coupon service work on the basis of, let's say that it always works as like, you know this hotel has this discount. So let's say that I do check that the transaction which I have received from the transaction service that I have, this object this object is containing this specific hotel, or it can be like first time user. So we do have a discount, let's say first time user discount, or we can have other things as well. So if the transaction falls into
Mhm.
any of the specific category, or if I do have directly a coupon
Mhm.
which was like, let's say, an explicit or a special coupon that they had, they apply it here, we
Mhm.
see that this becomes valid, or any one of these becomes valid. We can make a change in this specific object through coupon service, and then update that specific request to payment gateway, which makes our payment to the third party payment handler, and then we have the complete receipt. Once we have that, the receipt, we can have the right operations here in our DB, which says that
Mhm.
this transaction happened successfully. We do return out the handlings, and then we return out the gateway. and we say that, this booking took place to the specific hotel and also to the specific user, that this transaction was successful. So this is all in the case of when I'm trying to book a specific service. Okay, now let's talk about the search operations that I was talking about, which does not require a very high consistency. And by the way, in the case of consistency, since I'm keeping these as a SQL systems, these will be sticking to ACID properties, and they will be able to handle out consistency as it is embedded inside the SQL systems. Now,
Okay.
Gautam, when we talk about the search operations, in this one, I would like to keep our data in a little bit different manners as compared to the way that I've kept it inside my booking operations. So I would like to keep this as a NoSQL data.
Okay.
Just
Which non-SQL data, by the way?
yeah, NoSQL data.
Yeah, like which kind?
This was I was searching more of like an elastic search,
Hmm.
since I would frankly say that I currently do not have hands-on experience with this specific service, but the amount of reading that I've done till this time, it says that for search operations, the orientation of inside the data is kept in such a way that it becomes like much more feasible to do the search operations in an Elasticsearch database as compared to other databases that we do have. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So when I do have my search operations, I can have all of my read request for the specific type of hotel, including the filters, with this specific database. Now, this database will be having a replica, or like needs to be having in sync with my core databases that I'll be having as well. Because as let's say a specific hotel, let's say hotel A was having 5 rooms and it got updated, it needs to have an eventual consistency that after 2 seconds maximum, my search database also got updated, so that the next time, like let's say that after 2 seconds a user does a fresh search, they can always know that now hotel A has only 4 rooms and one is being booked.
Okay.
Also within this case, as we do have like read intent systems, we will be replicating them out, and in this one I can have a simple you know leader and the follower orientation of the databases. As the For example, let's say that if I define this guy as the leader,
Hmm.
if I define this as the leader, this can always get the updates. So get the updates from the bookings DB and keep on updating it.
Understood.
So this leader will be getting so we can always have like a different service which does do this job. Okay, so DB services, this guy always gets the update, and then it updates in the replicas that we do have. So this is more of like a reader follower or database orientation that we have for the search database. So Gautam, these two were the two types of databases that I was having in my head. One more aspect of keeping a data was the blob data that we'll be having about the hotel systems. Can I
Okay.
like focus a little bit more on those as well?
I think we are running out of time at this point. So I want you to actually add two more features to it. So
Okay.
what I want to understand how what all will you change for that.
Okay.
So there was this question from Mukund.
Yeah.
How do we add a point system for user? Like you must have seen for uh, I don't know, make my trip and all. If you go through their system and you are a customer there, you can use a point to the hotel whenever you're booking a hotel, so you can get a discount for that.
Yeah, so for that, see, this was like related to the coupon service. So in this one, this coupon service that we were having, this was more of like the consumer service that we were having. We can have another service. Let's say that, we have, so if I focus on this area, okay,
Mhm.
and I have coupon service consumer. So let's say because this guy consumes it, and we can have a generator coupon service as well.
Mm.
So this guy generates coupon for us.
Okay.
And this can be again on the basis of, let's say, we can have few of the premium coupons, okay?
Mhm.
So these are more of like when you do get exclusively, or let's say that you got a gift card and in that you are having this specific coupon, or we can have like a first time coupon, or we can have a sale,
Mhm.
festival coupon.
Mhm.
So in this, what we did was, internally, so there are two ways to do this. When I generate a coupon, I can actually say, sorry, and I'm not able to zoom it out. Yeah, when I generate a coupon service, what I do say is that a specific room which was having a price value in the other screen that we saw was having this specific amount, and that's, I believe, that was one of the reason why Gotham said that, do you wish to keep it in here? That room service that we do have simply gives us a trigger action that when this specific unique ID is being implemented, when this
Mhm.
specific transaction comes from this specific user, change the value of the hotel room price that has been provided. So initially, when these are generated from these services, I can always have a transaction service. So we usually see that even on like MMT or even on Zomato or something like that, we do apply the coupon in the end. So that is more of
Mhm.
like when I do have my transaction object ready and then I apply it on the same. So I believe, like Gautam, this can be solved in this way. I can always have a coupon generating service which generates out the values, and then I can always have the coupon consuming service which can always absorb the transaction and change the transaction object according to whenever it fits the specific conditions. So this was my
Okay.
idea.
I have one more to add. Mukund has actually added one more feature. What about customer support? How do we deal with that?
Oh, okay. And even in this one, there was a few aspects as well. Okay. Um. So I'll answer that. But before that, in this one, there'd be two more components, major components that were required to be handled. One was that we do have the analytics part, which we can be getting from both of our databases, and then we can always push it in a Kafka queue, which can store it in a cold storage, which can be used for later times analytical purposes. Another one would be the blob data that would be uploaded through the CDNs from your API gateways and then directly given to the user instead of returning it from the gateway perspectives. But sorry, what was the question again? Sorry. The customer
So,
service. Yes. Mukund,
yeah.
can you please elaborate, like, what do you mean by customer service? Or Gautam,
So
can
a
you explain?
custom
Yeah.
so a user is booking a hotel, but then the hotel canceled. Like it was Taj, and Taj canceled from their side when they were traveling, and they wanted to raise a complaint regarding that.
Okay.
So we need a service for that.
Okay. In that specific case, we can always have a service which is more of, do I need to keep it internal? I do need to keep it internal. Let's say that I do have a service from, this is from the office, and we have internal access.
Okay.
In this case, what we do usually ask the user is, so when we have uh, internal this one, if I do have my user ID
Mhm.
that I can easily get, or even let's say, any of the other data, for example, even from the email or the phone number, which is unique, I get this one, and I can always have the transaction logs with me.
Mhm.
Logs that this is an internal access that I have with this. So this one, internal access does comes when we do orient our data that we hold into specific layers. So just with your database and caching, there are even more layers, which there's a certain layer which just does defines how much of a access do you have on the database which is present inside the company. It can be very layered as compared to user or a normal customer support guy that is working inside a team, or even the developers or the founders. So that can be very different. So let's say that this guy is having transaction logs feature that it can have. So once it has these two data, it can always have a certain power to, let's say, revert a transaction, or if we don't want that, let's say that it can always have from the transaction, it can always have the hotel information, and it can pass on to the certain team which talks to hotel.
Okay.
And that way those query can be handled, because uh, passing on to a certain team is more of like an internal decision. I can say that this guy can handle that operation or not, that would be more of an organization decision. But this is how it can be done by adding a specific layer. Let's say that if I do had a specific layer of how much access I can have. So this is my data access layer, handles how much data a user can see. So do you want me to talk about the CDN as well, Gautam? Or we can skip like for
Uh,
this interview and then we can discuss in other ones.
yeah, we think, I think that we can skip it for now.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, let's go to the review. I want you to shift to the text uh, file that I
Sure.
have created.
Sure. Give me 1 second. This one is not going in a very pretty way. The scale of both of, yeah, the scale of both of the screens does changes drastically. So sorry about that, viewers. We'll be handling that in the next one. Yes, Gautam. I'm on the screen.
So thing is, I'll start talking about the good stuff that you have told, like mentioned. So let's start with how you have handled the requirements. Uh, because you already know the question,
Hey,
I was pretty sure that you could do the what do you call it, requirements pretty well. And for that, you actually nailed it. You started with each use case. Uh, you told about each feature for the hotel, for the user side. Uh, you also added the analytics parts as well, just to make sure that if that is also required in this question, because I started with questions with it should be scalable. So that was one of the hints that you took it up. And then you had always been communicative with the interviewer. So you had always made sure that the interviewer, you ask questions to the interviewer so that you can make out all the details that are required by the use case. So that is also one plus point. And you have made sure that there are some research that has done before that. Like you have read about some designs which were which could be used for this, and you have actually segregated those things properly well. Now for the bad points, one is that you started telling about like one hotel will take 10 MB of data. I was very skeptical about that because you did not add the data behind the
Okay,
10 MB. So that is something which was concerning me. So that's why I was like, just wait. I want the how you can justify the 10 MB. And then
sure.
you started explaining a lot of things about that. And then it sort of made sense, but it was still a little unclear for me.
Got it. I should have like said that there are elemental values, but I'm considering this as more of an upper scale of having the data. Got it. Okay. So like instead of me directly making out the resultant point from my side, I should rather explain why I made this certain decision or why I'm expecting this certain decision with this, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Uh, Second thing, you have used a lot of like while you were explaining the data, like the schema. I do not see any kind of enums. There are a lot of categories which you can just keep it as enum and just store it there. See, enum might be like an integer, but
Yes.
that is sort of okay because as a programmer or as a person who is going to be interacting with it, it more or less helps with the design. Like there could be something like amenities and enum like this.
Where are you making your changes? Can you please tell me the line number?
53.
Okay.
So you could actually list down the type of room it is. Uh, those kind of enums help you out a lot because in an interview, you're basically breaking those points into smaller points and you're basically adding the abstraction and also to make sure that the interviewer understands that these are the things that you have thought of.
Got it.
Because when I go back as an interviewer, maybe I might not be putting the review right now, but when I see that this is a detail, you haven't provided the detail of what kind of room that is going to be there, what kind of things that are expected out of it.
Got
It
it.
just when I read this, I might not be able to judge you properly.
Okay.
And third, yeah, for the API, you did miss the verb, but I pointed it out. Uh, Usually
Yes.
after that, it's better to tell the way the parameters are that are going to be supplied with it.
Yes.
That helps out a lot when you provide those kind of details because when I look at this from the like I go back 24 hours later, I look at this create user, and that is in the user's end. Why should the user's end have create user? Then I remember that, yeah, he meant sign up or sign in,
Got it.
maybe
Okay.
like that. So sometimes they have their own interpretation that will might cause an issue. You can always ask like, hey, can I use this? Do you think this is an appropriate uh, API endpoint? That will help out a lot.
Got it.
And one more thing, you actually did not what do you call add the booking table.
Yes.
There is
Yes.
a transaction table, but there is no booking table, which Tushar rightfully pointed out, and like kudos to him.
Yeah.
That actually made a lot of sense for me. When I look back, I was like, okay, well, there's something not there. So yeah,
Yeah. Um. Got it. Yeah. That is true. Like I was trying to be in a bit hurry while I was trying to reach out the high level design, and I did miss few of the tables. Yeah. I'll be working on those sides. I do believe like yeah this this is a usual one that I should have handled the parameters more. uh, got it. Okay,
Uh,
I'll be.
I missed out one more good thing which Mukund has pointed out.
Yeah.
You actually, whenever there was a feature that was added, you made sure that yeah, there is a solution for it. I'm going to find a solution, and this is how I'm going to do it. And you have that ability to like make sure that these services they actually get integrated with the system. So that means if a feature is easily integrated to the system, that means that system is scalable.
Yeah.
It is easy to integrate. It's easy to like decouple. Those things are very easy to do. So really good work on that, and I really appreciate all the new features that were requested by the our viewers.
Oh,
So
thank you so much.
uh, so I think those are the reviews that I have for now.
Okay.
By the way, like really good at explaining the high level design. There might be somewhere like you might be not be using the right tool. It's okay. It's not like that. Uh, I would have appreciated a little bit more detail on certain tools that you're using, like for example, Elasticsearch, but you actually admitted to the interviewer that yeah, I've not worked on it much. That helped out a lot. That made me think that yeah, this person is honest. Uh, there was this new feature that I added for the customer support. What I was thinking was something different,
Mm-hmm.
but you did try to formalize a solution for it, and that is a really good way to do.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, I think I'm a little rusty, but yes, I do need to get back on my scale of explaining things out as well as like not missing out the details. I do admit that I missed a few features, for example, the API parameters, one of the booking table, very important. And I think, do you think like I took a lot of time in explaining the initial sets, and then because of that, I was not able to uh, have time, or I missed few of the concepts. Like I had time. I did. I think I completed in 1 hour 7 minutes. But I think I need to get back with that one. So initial things, I do need to explain them faster, and then make sure that I don't miss out few of the points.
It's not like that. It's like sometimes you have some strategy in mind. Maybe the person who is interviewing you already knows that, yeah, this guy can do it. He's actually abstracting the things that is required. Uh,
That is true.
so
Yeah.
that is okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. Like I have already told you my intention, and you actually worked regarding like going with that. That really shows a commitment. So from my end, I think that you have done a really good job at explaining all the stuff, and you actually were able to get to the high level design. That is a huge surprise because uh,
Yes.
usually with this much description, it's very hard to get there and talk about the high level design of what are the components. Because see, in usually in system design interview, the interviewee doesn't actually control the flow. It's actually the interviewer who wants to gather more information.
That's true.
Uh, so yeah, you actually gave me the right details, and I have less doubts. Like I was asking you certain doubts, but those were some hit or miss cases. But more or less, for me, the system can be designed in this way.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Like, thank you so much for all of my viewers asking out those doubts, giving me features like on the hot run to develop. That is actually a very fun feeling. Like, that's an amazing feeling to have, because it actually puts you in that mind that, this is a problem that is also coming up. I do need to handle this as well. That actually happens when you do start working on the designs. Initially, you do have like the features, but you can have always few interruptions. So thank you so much, my viewers, for asking those questions with me. um as I said, that I do need to be more thorough in few of the initial aspects. But initially, when Gotham said that I need to make uh, this complete system a like easily scalable system, so that was stuck in my head as one of the points, that this is a point in which the interviewer wants to emphasize more today. And that's actually usually a feature, that initially when you have the first 5 minutes of discussion, you do ask them that is there any specific aspect that you want to have in this one, or in a certain case, you do get the idea. But as being like live here, and then us giving these out, I should have explained few of these tables more. I would try to keep up with the pace in the next time. Yes, it was a really good experience. I know, from the apart from the transition screens, I'll handle them in the next one. Our team will be working on it. So apart from that, yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. Yep. And Tushar actually shared his experience of his system design, like interviews and all.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very interesting how Tushar has told all the details of his interview, and how sometimes in certain situations the interviewer might ask you what like to do it from the starting and then build it up. Sometimes the interviewer might just say that just I just want a scalable system. Basically, in this, the interviewer might be a product manager, it might be a client. They actually want the system to be running, and it they might be expecting a lot of uh, users to actually use it. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So Gautam, as you were saying that we had like a handful of questions that we had. So I think like, shall we address a few of those today?
Yeah, we should address those today, but we actually have to have the tell the fun story behind how things did not go well yesterday. I think I can start. Uh, Yesterday we were supposed to be online at 10. We tested out the entire stuff before that at like around 9:30, and then after that we started seeing a lot of jittery frames, and we were trying to figure out if it is with my audio and video, or like Sahil's system or my system. It could be anything. We started googling it a lot, and we were like, okay, we are going to go live. We'll try out our best. If this thing doesn't work, we'll try it out again. We'll try to figure out the solution for it.
Yeah. I mean, by the time
And
when you yesterday, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Like by the time when you
yep.
yesterday gave me the question, I was also writing out the question, but I was also googling it all on the second end, that why are my frames dropping? How do I fix this? And during that time, we did have to shift from Twitch, but the frames were still keep on dropping. And then yeah, Gotham, go on.
So after we just ended the live session, we basically, like, the first thing that Sahil did was like to apologize to all the viewers who were waiting for us. Like, we are still apologizing to for all the inconvenience that has been caused by us. Uh, so yeah, I'm very grateful for you guys to come out and after this, like, you guys actually came here to watch all this unfold. But yeah, the end of the story, we actually had to Google it. We went to Stack Overflow. We tried out everything, and at around 3 a.m., we basically was like, it was basically like, dude, my laptop is going to shut down in some time. I'm just going to put it for charge.
Yeah.
By the way, at that time we were doing some private
Yes.
uh like
Private, like
live
live
session
sessions. Yes.
that was also not working, and then all of a sudden we he puts the charger in, and then all of a sudden this thing just fixes by itself. And then he literally searched like OBS, uh,
Mm.
M1, Mac, just the charging thing. And all of a sudden the answer was there right in front of us,
Yes.
that it's actually not optimized for M1 silicon. So
Yet.
because
Yeah.
of that, it just it didn't want to run at all. It was running on a simulation, and because of that, the frame was dropping. And yeah, at 3 a.m., the solution was just to plug in the power.
Yeah. So two things. Your laptop does not works on its optimal performance unless it's plugged in. Two, OBS is still not developed using M1 architecture. They have discussions. They might be doing it since like I think few of you know that it's an open source software, so they might be working on it. But yeah, that was the reason. So yeah, but more than
Yeah,
that, we realized that there was another reason that we were banging our heads. Sometimes the solutions are very simple. So
yep,
as the IT guy says, right? Have you tried restarting it? And yes, yes, that in this case it was equivalent to that.
yep. So I think we should shift to the questions that were asked to us
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, yeah.
So there was this one question by one of my friend. Is it okay to conduct the interview in Hindi? Sahil, can you answer that?
See, there is a possibility. I am a native Hindi speaker, and Gautam does also speaks like fluently. But the idea is to engage with a larger community in the coming times, and I don't want to. We don't want to restrict a certain person or people who can learn but are not able to learn because of a language barrier. Let's say that we do
Okay.
grow on a very certain level, maybe we can have a translation of the interviews that happen in specific language as it's requested or as the network grows. But considering like doing it in Hindi is the reason why we are not doing it now. And also, like, if we do look at in a professional side as well, the interviews are majorly conducted in English. So sooner or later we do need to pick it up. I do understand that it's at times it's much more easier to understand in Hindi or any other specific language. But for now, this is the reason that we are doing and will be doing it for some time in English only.
Yep. I would also recommend people to use English as a language to interview, until unless the you see that the person who is interviewing you speaks another language, and you also know that language, and you're struggling to get all the information from this person. You can switch it. That might seem like a cheat, but it's still okay. Right? It's reasonable. You can ask them if they are okay with it. Go ahead. Uh, so there was another question. We want to be interviewed. What are the things that we should do to get through the interview?
Like interviewing with us.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, for now, you can guys can ping us in LinkedIn for sure. But we were discussing that we will be releasing a form in which you can fill out your information as
Mhm.
that you wish to be interviewed. Or let's say for now, let's say that we have DSA and system design, you wish to be interviewed this way, you want to book a certain session, and this is the timeline in which you are available. Or you just fill out that form. We'll be releasing that out mostly, Gautam, I think we'll be releasing out by tonight. uh, and then we can start having you guys on the interviews.
Yep. So there was another question from Tushar.
Yeah,
Any plans on collaborating with other channels which are doing video system design can help grow channel and will bring more perspective?
that
Yes, we do. We do have that. If there is an opportunity like that, we would really appreciate it.
that is true. That is true. The truth is, like, we are in a very initial stage of this community. We do need to bring it up, and
Mhm.
so as we grow, it's certainly a possibility that we collaborate with other channels to have that.
Mhm.
The idea is to bring out people on this one. We do have few friends, so uh, idea is to bring them on the interviewee or the interviewer side. So yeah, that would be that. Those are few of the plans in the future. We'll be doing it.
Yep. Mukund would really
Yes, Mukund.
like to be interviewed for DSA. So
Yes, yes.
yes, Mukund, we'll do
I,
DSA with you.
I do remember. Yes, you mentioned it out in our last video as well. We'll be having that with you for sure. Like,
We'll speak with you.
yeah,
We'll try to find out the right timing, and we'll prepare for all that. And then for the next interview, most probably you are going to be the interviewee.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, can there was another question? Can you shift the timing for the live session if some of us are not able to attend? Sahil?
So that is a possibility. It's more of like we are trying to get an idea of a complete that you know what is the most suitable time for most of the audiences that we are having. So let's say that if our most of the audiences or a larger audiences says that they are not comfortable with 10 p.m. or a certain specific time suits them, we'll be working out with that. The idea is like not just to limit this community to India. So that's why whenever we do have a post, we try to put it like the UTC time as well. uh, we do need to handle that out. Eventually these kind of things will be adjusted and handled when we start growing bigger and then start having these values.
Okay. Uh, there was a peculiar question that was asked to me like today itself. Why are you doing this live interview? What is the point of this?
You tell this one
Okay. So
and tell
as
what
today,
and tell what you told that guy or the girl.
so basically for the live interview, if a person is very confident to show themselves and they try to show the experience, you can also show this entire video to someone else and go like, see, I have done a live interview. If you are impressed with it, give me a referral.
That is true.
Second thing, uh, doing live interviews can also help because a larger community can give you more reviews about this. And even after that, you can go back to this interview and then see that, oh, these are the things that I have missed and I can make it better. And doing this interview again and again will always make you a better interviewer, interviewee.
That's true. So if I get to a boil, it's one that you do improve your skills
Yep.
iteratively doing with us. You get a larger audience which says that this is right and this is wrong. Second, you we can build this platform as a source of credibility that you can show that this is your live interview that happened. You did practice it in a fair and square manner. These were few of the forecomings and these were the good reviews that you got from the audience as well, which can be used on a later point of time as showing that this is what this guy is actually capable of.
Also, one more thing, people who have watched this have told me that, like, yeah, dude, this guy actually knows how to communicate with people.
Pretty
And that,
sure they were talking about you.
yeah, both of us actually.
Oh, okay.
So they told that any companies can come and watch this interview and they can go like, hey, I'm interested in this. See, I
That's
recently
true.
got a mail from one person and they actually wrote that I'm actually hiring for this role. I saw this video on YouTube and I think you might be a good fit for this company. And I'm like, okay, this is the first time I'm actually seeing this. I think I should show you that mail. I'll actually retract all the uh, details of it, but I'll show you that mail next time.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if we build a foundation of that, we can take prompt as a source of truth or source of something credible. Yeah, things like this will happen.
Yeah. One more question. Should I add my lead code account to my resume? It totally depends on you. Uh, I have added it because I think my score might be good enough for some resume, like for some HRs who will be going through my resume. It totally depends on your choice.
That's true.
Yes, Mukund. Learning new things is easy in live interviews for users. While talking, we learn very useful stuff and we can ask doubts as well. Yes. Yep.
Sure, Tushar, you are eligible for sure. Like, yeah, just um, let us know. We'll be happy to interview. Like each, like a lot of time, any number of time for now.
Yep.
Build the community. That's the whole idea that we have for now. Just
Yep.
drag your friends by the shoulder, bring them to the interview, ask them to come online. Like the way that how Tushar stepped in, and then now Mukund will be stepping in of getting back from that fear and then actually coming up. That is the whole idea. So just do it. We'll be asking you for sure. Bring out the friends, bring out the community. Eventually, we do need to build bigger things out of it.
Yep. Uh, there was another question that was asked,
Yeah.
uh, which was, see, I'm not a software engineer, but I'm doing data science. Is
Mhm.
there a interview going to be? Is there a? Are you guys planning for an interview for data science as well, or is it like only for DSA and system design?
Got it. Okay. So I think like this question can hold our vision for like how we want to scale prompt. The idea of prompt is to have live interviews, and it does not sticks to only having DSA and system designs. We are currently doing it because as of now we know that we can do this. We are a little bit like credible that we have done this, we have practiced this. That's why we can have it for each other, or we can have for the few viewers that we have for now. As we grow, the idea is just to have live interviews. We can have it for anything. We can have it behavioral, managerial, we can have data science, we can have PM interviews, or even in the non-technical aspects as well. For example, we can have the sales interview that the people have, the HR rounds that they HR interviews that they have. So the idea is to scale it out for live interviews. It can be of any
Yes.
platform, it can be of any domain.
One more thing I would like to add, because Sahil is a software developer, I'm a software developer, and I think Tushar is also a software developer. So right now, like all of us are software developers. So
Yes,
the thing that we are like we're credible and like we are like we learned how to do are just system design and DSA. So if I start talking about like data science interview, like, if I try to do it, it would not be fair. Like
exactly.
I do not know.
Yeah, that's true.
So there was yeah.
The idea is to
So
do right by right. It's not just like say that I hold up a book and then I say that yeah, I'll be taking your PM interviews. Not do that. Uh,
yeah,
we need to be credible.
we do we do have volunteers for doing interviews. Like as an interviewer, a few of my contacts actually reached to me and they were like, see, is there a design interview that you guys are going to plan? Is there going to be a front end uh,
Yes,
front end interview that you want to do? Like I they were like, I am willing to do this. I'm willing to ask candidates, and maybe if they're really good, I would also like to refer them to their company. Like so that conversation happened. I'm not talking about who is going to come. I do not promise that the referral is going to happen, but this was something that was told to me.
yeah, we can have like experts in the source of, let's say, Android developers, data
Yep.
scientists who can come and then have give their feedback, their knowledge, and then take your interviews.
Yep. यस मुकुंद इसमें मेरी एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है इसीलिए मैं नहीं कर सकता मेरे को डीएसए और ये
That is true.
सिस्टम डिजाइन जरा सा आता है
इसमें मेरी एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है, इसलिए मैं आउट हूँ.
हाँ so how did we actually find the name prompt dot that was a question
I don't know. Just I don't know. It just popped in my head.
like great ideas just pop. There's no meaning behind it. We
Yeah,
just found the name and we just went with it.
yeah. I mean, it didn't need to make sense. Made like prompt that. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
So, one more question. So, what courses
Mm,
do we have to learn for this? Should we go for
just
Coursera, Udemy, and all those stuff?
just like
Uh,
Gautam, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Just like Mukund is saying so much truth that command prompt, I guess. You don't have to speak out the truths like these, just like this. Please.
yep.
Yeah. Moving on to the next guy.
Yeah. So one person has asked, like, what all courses do they have to do to get started with an interview, or like how to start with DSA and system design? Should we go for Coursera, Udemy, or like that? So, what do you think, Sahil?
Well, I think that I did that, and I won't say that they are bad. And they are very resourceful, very important things. The truth boils down to what exactly would be asked to you. And I know that for me, DSAs and system designs will be asked. Where can I find it? For DSA, I can find it on LeetCode, Code Forces like next level. But LeetCode contains the specific types of question I know companies will be asking for my interviews. Uh,
Yep.
for system design, I had to read. If and then
Yep.
if I know that, see, I'll be asked object oriented questions, I would be reading it on these platforms, reading books, taking up the Coursera courses or edX courses. So it's more of like you knowing what would be asked in your interview, and then you go to the best resource that you have for it.
Yep.
And it also boils down to, like, when you do see something visually, you do understand it, but uh, typing it out or like writing it out or actually getting your hands dirty, until you don't do that, you don't get perfect with it. So just watching out the videos is not good enough, to be honest. You do need to work it out.
Okay. Yeah. There is also this one more thing, like prompt, like it's be a prompt for an interview. I think that also makes sense, I guess. We seriously don't know. Like we just Sal just came up with the name and we stuck with it.
Hey, it's a nice name.
It's a nice name. That's why we stuck with it.
Oh, okay, you
Okay.
mean that way. Yeah.
So yeah, I think there are more questions about it, but like I think we should not be taking too much time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We can take like any of the questions our viewers have, like, live. Yeah, related to the interview, not by the channel name.
Yeah, we still don't know. That's the reason.
Yeah,
Like
that's the honest truth.
I
Okay.
think you guys have
Then
uh
we have a dark background. White background is very depressing. Dark background in what, Mukund? I think I should need to reduce this latency. Wait, let me type it out for him. Yeah, thanks, Gautam.
I'm not even sure like which background. Is it this?
Thank you, Anshul. Yeah, we'll be doing that on very soon. And Anshul, we would request you to become our interviewer in the coming days. I know, like, viewers also need to know, but I know you as a person. But yes, we will be doing out the domain. We'll be doing out in that as well. Editor's dark background. Oh, you mean in
VS
uh
Code. Yeah.
drawing board?
I think in VS Code also.
I do have the dark background right now.
Yeah, I actually suggested Sahil to do that because when I was watching the video back again, it was just too dark and like a software developer doesn't keep a light background. It just doesn't make any sense. Every single good software engineers that I know keeps their background, like the theme, as dark.
Don't start a war here, man. Don't start a war.
See, yeah, I can sort of want like tabs versus space,
Yeah,
dark versus light,
Vim versus
Emac.
Emac.
Yep. But yeah,
We'll be keeping out dark backgrounds for VS Code. We'll be keeping out dark backgrounds for whiteboards.
yep. Uh, you guys can always approach us in Instagram. We have you guys have a LinkedIn ID, and I think just tell us whatever concerns that you have, like whatever like enhancement. I think whatever we can do to make this even better,
Yes, we
and
need
that
that.
helps us a lot.
That's true.
Yep.
And I think people do like the at least like I like the orientation of when we have like side by side to each other. Yeah,
Yep.
instead of just that round circle of us getting viewed, the screens are much more better. So I'll duplicate the screens, but I think this setup is much more better.
Yep. Great. I think we can stop this live session. I think. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much, everyone who watched it live, who will be watching it after the video. If you are still in the video and this is a recorded session, and you're still watching it, thank you so much. Please feel free to reach out. There are few things that I would like to highlight. One, that you can sign up for our newsletter. Few of you have done. We'll be starting that out soon. So the idea would be that it would be easier for us to create out the newsletter and the community. Another one is that all of the code, all of the description, the discussion, the raw code and the write code that we are discussing here in these interviews are present in the repository and it will be present in our website. You can check out those description in the link, so please feel free to do that. You can always make a pull request of any of the things that you think you need to improve, and we can be working on those. So please do check it out. It will be containing the codes. It will be containing few of the resources that you can also use to learn and increase your knowledge, and start grinding it with.
yeah.
So
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. And also please do subscribe. And talking about subscription, we have reached 103 subscribers. So it's a three-digit
Yay.
number. So we we are very happy that you guys are subscribing us. You guys are watching us, and that means a lot for us. I
Yes.
hope that the subscriber count goes up, and we will be able to make more quality content. We are planning to add more interviewers so that people can like do the interviews and they can get their doubts cleared. And please do share it with anyone. And yeah, because of you, we are still here, and uh, we are very grateful for your support. And
Yes. That
you guys are
matters a
the
lot.
best.
Like, you guys, like, steadily we are increasing it out. uh we are trying to improve best on our sides. Thank you so much for today, the session that we had. I really enjoyed it. I hope, Gautam, you enjoyed it as well. And I
Yeah,
most importantly, I hope our viewers enjoyed it. Please do let us know if you do have any of the questions, and please do subscribe out to the channel, and let's try to bring this community and start building out this community larger every day. So yeah,
yeah,
on this note, I think like we'll be contacting Mukund. We will be conducting out the future references and the future interviews in the coming times, and you'll be getting uh upfront notifications, and I don't think so that we'll be losing out frames for now.
hopefully. Yes.
Yes.
Hopefully, yes. And thank you, yours. Your support means a lot for us.
Yes.
And thank you for taking time and like coming here to watch this live session. And hope to actually take your live interview as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for all the people who are yet to subscribe.
Yes.
And that helps us make more videos like this.
Yes.
And have a great day ahead.
I mean, let's just build an awesome community of, like, pro level people who are
Yep.
there, who are trying to reach there. That's